My name is Doug Ross, and I'm a photographer. I'm a member of the Nude Ireland Collective. Anna? The Nude Ireland Collective is a collective for both photographers and models, and we've been working together for a couple of years in order to try to see if the art nude genre of photography can be developed in this country. In a large portion of the rest of Europe, art nude photography, a genre of photography for generations. In Ireland, it's very new. Well, the collective is that we work together. We meet on a regular basis. We show the work of photographers that we like. We show our own work. We also try to create a safe environment.
It's an incredibly supportive, collaborative environment, shared and fantastic. We work with models who are brand new to maybe art nude, or maybe have a lot of experience.
I mean, a lot of these terms mean different things to different people. When we talk about art nude photography, we're talking the body is something that's very expressive, it's very beautiful.
With the collective, it's specific philosophy shared by all members to deconstruct the idea of nudity back into aesthetic. Would that be a fair way to describe it?
That would certainly be one way you could describe it, yeah. The body and sexuality in a culture that hasn't developed this medium, nudity and sexuality are seen as one and the same thing.
As a collective, have kind of steered clear of that side of things, and this really is all about composition. And for me, I find it a lot easier, but also more of a discipline to work in a way with my body to produce a result that on the camera is tasteful but creative at the same time. So we all know each other very well. We are very good friends and have great working relationships, which has only kind of accelerated our creative process. And we've really come on strength to strengthen that, and the work as a collective has improved leaps and bounds as time has gone on.
We had our inaugural exhibition in Film Base last November. To the best of my knowledge, exhibitions that were exclusively fine art nude were in single digits. In the entire history of Ireland, there's only been 8 fine art nude photographic exhibitions. Individual works, of course, have been shown from time to time. This was certainly the first significant group show that I'm aware of that was ever held in this country of fine art nude photography.
What we're talking about here is technical side of photography, meeting place with models, developing ideas into aesthetics, and also areas of erotica.
Well, again, Monica can give her opinion on this, and this is a really good area for us to discuss. Absolutely. Within the collective. What I understand, sexuality is part of our lives. It's part of everybody's life. Mm-hmm. Now, unfortunately, most photographing of the nude up to now has been sexually based. We certainly have a prevalence of pornography that anybody can access very, very easily in our society today. On one hand, how do you define pornography as well? We have these debates within our collective. We certainly don't think that the mere presence of a naked body constitutes pornography, no. But our shame-based culture used to say that. And there's still people who are conditioned to go, oh my God, there's a naked person. Sexuality is part of our human experience, and therefore we should not exclude the exploration of sexuality, but it should be a human, psychological, and I suppose another thing very important, equal exploration, because so much of the pornography that we see, in fact some would say that the definition of pornography is an exploitative and objectifying primarily towards women.
Go back to fine art, some of which may be implied nude, as opposed to the model will be in the nude, however you would not see things. 90% of the models are female. And a lot of photographers do prefer the female form. We do have one male member who has been incredibly successful as a model and has opened other people's minds, other photographers' minds, who said, maybe I'll only shoot women. And now the tables have turned, in which he has made them more comfortable of shooting the male form, as a lot of the photographers in the world of art nude, you know, are male themselves, so maybe they see kind of a reflection of their own vulnerability.
It's all part of the discussion, it's all part of the development of this. Away from a notion that this is exclusively about men photographing young, beautiful women.
I think, to me personally, the fine art nude, a lot of the work I do is based around more so vulnerability than anything provocative. And the human form on its own is a vulnerable thing. We all look so different underneath our clothes. It goes back to your ability to pose how you want to show yourself. When you're working with a theme or a concept with a costume, it's very easy to play that character. You strip all that back. All your makeup as models don't tend to be kind of heavily made up within the genre. And when you take all that away, you really see a very different side of the same theme.
It's important to point out that this is also a joint exhibition with an international collective that's based in France. And we have several French photographers, Thailand, another from Poland, another from Switzerland, that are part of this international collective. The collective is a general photographic collective from 30 countries with 70 photographers. And it's among those photographers, the ones that do fine art nude work, have been invited by their collective to put work forward. Mm-hmm. But it is showing that this is a genre, when it gets well developed, is absolutely stunning.
Fascinating.
Several of the photographers that we will be showing are part of a biennale of art nude photography in France. They've had two of them. They've invited the Art Nude Ireland collective en masse back to France next year to see what we're up to.
Although we are trying to kind of promote the movement of art nude in Ireland, if we hadn't founded this group, all these people from these international photographers and models, we wouldn't have the opportunity to collaborate with these people without what we're doing now. So it is opening up Ireland as maybe a potential, spot for new work.
Thank you so much for a great interview.